Other news now, the big talking point this evening. Air pollution is rising at an alarming level across the world, and that's according to the World Health Organization. In a survey, the WHO estimates that just 2% of people living in the developing world have air quality that's up to the mark. In the developed world, 44% of people are breathing air that is up to the mark. Iran's Zabol has the dubious distinction of being the world's most polluted city, closely followed by India's Gwalior and Allahabad. In fact, two more Indian cities, that's Patna and Raipur, are also in the top 10. Where is Delhi? Well, just outside the top 10, it comes in at number 11, but Delhi does top the charts as the world's most polluted large city. This is if you compare cities which have a population of 14 million or more. Joining us now to discuss this issue, which I believe requires serious government intervention and of course requires participation of all stakeholders, citizen participation as well. Raghav Chadha, spokesperson of the Aam Party, and Sunita, Director General of the Centre for Science and Environment. Sunita, Raghav, appreciate you joining us here on CNBC TV 18. Sunita, we've been having this conversation over months now here on CNBC TV 18. Let's just look at the numbers that have come in there from the WHO. I mean, this is alarming to say the least. But do you believe that in terms of policy response, in terms of government attention, government intervention, pollution continues to be really low down on the order of priorities, unfortunately, and that hasn't changed in spite of what we've seen happen in Delhi?
Well, I think, Shireen, there are two things that come out clearly from the WHO report. I think, firstly, what is very clear is that small cities in India are equally polluted, and it's something that we have been screaming about for a long time, and it tells us that action has to move across the airsheds. So that's clearly, and it's a nationwide issue, governments have to move. As far as Delhi is concerned, I don't think the government should feel, or any government should feel, that we have actually scored better. All it means is the problem is now much bigger because smaller cities are actually overtaking us. Yeah. To answer your question, Shireen, I think my own assessment is, I think governments today, including the Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi and including the central government, are aware of the air pollution issue. I think they're concerned about it today, and I think that's a step ahead. But if I may say, I think the actions, particularly of the government in Delhi, are still more in terms of intention and very little on the ground. And I think that is clearly something that they need to be much more aware of, and they need to do a lot more. Odd and even, I have said again and again, very good. We clearly see impact in the 15 days when it happens, but it's not a proxy for long-term action. Long-term action requires hard steps to be taken. Not a single bus has been procured by the government. Very little has happened even till today to enforce on road dust. 4 vacuum cleaners are not even worth talking about, okay?
Yeah,
so
no, you're absolutely right, Sunita. Let me get Raghav to respond. Let me get Raghav to respond to that. And Raghav, we don't mean to make this a Delhi-centric issue because this is a national issue. It's an international issue as well. But, you know, on the specific points that Sunita has raised there, that the Delhi government may have its heart in the right place. There's a lot of talk. In fact, you've put out a statement today which seems almost self-congratulatory that you've, made significant efforts to try and bring down pollution in the city. But can you now give us timelines? Can you give us deliverables of when we can expect those electric buses to come onto the roads? When we can see you move beyond just a pilot project as far as those street vacuum cleaners are concerned? Can we now have timelines on the deliverables, Raghav?
Okay. So first of all, the Aam Aadmi Party government in Delhi has inherited a legacy of a rotten public transport system, a legacy of extremely bad air quality, etc. And the government has taken multiple measures, one of which is odd even, which has caught the public imagination, but there are various other measures that have been taken or are in the pipeline. For example, when Sunita ji talks about procurement of buses in this financial year, in the budget which was laid in the House by the Honorable Finance Minister of Delhi. He has committed to procuring more than 3,000 buses in this financial year. 1,000 will be for cluster buses, 1,000 will be premium buses, and 1,000 will be DTC buses. We have also come out with innovative schemes like bus aggregator scheme, taxi aggregator scheme, etc. We have levied heavy fines on crop burning and waste burning. We have reduced value-added tax on battery-operated vehicles as well as hybrid vehicles. We have slashed prices of e-rickshaw and giving e-rickshaw subsidy, improving last-mile connectivity. Non-destined trucks are not being allowed to enter in Delhi. Green tax has been imposed. The entry of trucks in Delhi was previously happening at 9 p.m. That has been shifted to 11:30 p.m. So a plethora of measures have been taken.
To be fair, Raghav,
I would say
that's as per the direction of the NGT, and that's as per the direction of the court.
Yeah, the Supreme Court.
Certainly,
Raghav,
certainly,
you know,
certainly.
I'm really, Raghav, just Raghav, please, can I just interject here? I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just want to say, I think it's time your government stop beating your chest on these issues, got down to action. We're not on opposite sides, but I think it's important for you not to be so defensive about these things and actually now start acting on them. Please remember, winter is coming. This winter will be... Listen, Raghav, I know everything that you're talking about, and I don't want to contradict it. But I'm simply saying to you, let's be very clear. Action is still not good enough. And I hope you will...
Let him respond, Sunita.
Because I'm saying it very seriously.
Sure. Let him respond. Go ahead, Raghav.
Only if you would have waited for me to complete my point. I was exactly coming to this. That experts like you, organizations like CSC, with the directions of the court, with the embrace that the people of Delhi have given, and certain courageous steps that the government of Delhi has taken, we have started seeing some encouraging trends. I am not at all saying that the report of the WHO, which shows that there has been improvement as far as Delhi is concerned, is anything to be euphoric about. But it is certainly a pat on the back for us. I think a lot needs to be done. A lot needs to be done in neighboring states also, like Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh. Pollution knows no boundaries. And certainly the government of Delhi, at least for starters, has shown that we have our heart in the right place. We have brought pollution on the agenda. It is of utmost priority to us, and we have been taking multiple measures. And I hope there can be a discussion on various measures that we have been taking, not just odd even policy.
Fair point, Raghav. But Sunita, let me get back to you, because as I pointed out, I don't want to make this a Delhi issue, because clearly this is a national issue that needs to be addressed by various state governments and by the central government. If I were to ask you to draw out for us, for instance, a national charter, or what needs to be done in terms of top priorities. I mean, you've got Allahabad, Raipur, you know, all of those cities in the same bracket as Delhi at this point in time. If I were to ask you to prioritize for us what needs to be done across state governments as a national charter, what would those be?
Three things, Shireen, three big things. One, clearly the biggest cause of air pollution in cities is motorization, which means that, you know, bringing in cleaner fuel and technology as fast as possible, making sure that you don't go the private car route but actually do public transport now rather than waiting for the cars to take over, is clearly the two big agendas that governments have to do. A start has been made by the central government by bringing in Euro 6, but that's going to come in 2020. We still don't have Euro 4. We need BS4. We need to make sure that happens quickly so that we can advance that fuel. So that's one. Second big cause of pollution is clearly household level burning, chulas that use biomass. The Prime Minister's program for LPG is a very good start, but we know it's not good enough. The fact is that it's related to poverty. It's a gender issue as well. The fact that it affects health of women, it's like the toilet, the two wicked problems of the world. We really haven't found solutions, because you make sure you get one subsidized LPG cylinder, but what happens with the next? So clearly either moving electricity in fast, quicker, cheaper so that people don't have to use biomass for burning.
Yeah.
That's the second. The third is enforcement on factories and brick kilns and everything else that is polluting in this, particularly the Indo-Gangetic Plain. There's huge amount of old power plants in this area which need to move towards natural gas. Today natural gas is available. We can definitely switch. The Power Ministry has been talking ad nauseum about refurbishment of very old power plants, and yet the merit dispatch order means that today even if you have a really old power plant, because it has the cheapest power, you buy power from it. You need to make sure that those policies come in so that we can get the dirty, polluting sources out. But like you said, Shireen, it's a national issue. Everything has to happen together, and governments have to get serious about it.
Oh, absolutely. Raghav, I'm going to give the final word to you. Can you give us some sense? You talked about the allocation that's been made in the budget. We're aware of that. But can you tell us, for instance, when will the first tranche of the electric buses hit Delhi's roads?
Well, I hope that is something that any official of the government of NCT of Delhi can comment about. I am a spokesperson of the party. I can only talk about the policy measures that the government has taken. But as far as the WHO report is concerned, I would certainly once again say that in 2014, Delhi was the most polluted city. In 2016, we are seeing that Delhi has fallen to 11, which is certainly some encouragement. It is a pat on the back for us, and we will certainly...
Raghav, it is not a pat on the back. It is not a pat on the back.
Ma'am, if PM 2.5, as far as PM 2.5 is concerned...
Data is 2013 data. It is not new data. Raghav, please, let's not pat ourselves on the back when it is not due.
Well, ma'am, I am not at all saying that. I am not at all saying that we've done enough. A lot needs to be done. Miles to go before.
All right, Sunita, Raghav. I'm glad.
I think I'm really sad about this. I don't think it's action the government has taken. If at all, it's the Supreme Court which has stepped in and
it is the Supreme Court, it is the High Court, it is the NGT, it is the people of Delhi, and lastly it is the government of Delhi.
It is not, as I pointed out, Sunita and Raghav, it would be sad for us to get into self-congratulatory mode. This is not a time for complacency. This is not a time for congratulations to any government at this point in time. There is a lot of work that needs to be done, and this is a national calamity that requires intervention across all quarters. Sunita, Raghav, appreciate you joining us here on CNBC TV 18 on India Business Hour for this very special conversation assessing the WHO report on air pollution. But